back, everybody. We're at week 3, day 2. Nice job on yesterday's programming. Way to go. Again, if you guys have any questions from yesterday, if anything else happened where you feel like you didn't understand the full movement and you need some reiterations on it, please let us know and we'll get it back to you as soon as we can. Hope everybody is safe. Hope everybody is staying cooped up inside so that we can eradicate coronavirus, because this is getting insane. So, without further ado, our warm-up for today. Today's workout is going to be a little different, and it's going to be a little bit tough, and we're going to create kind of a competitive atmosphere from today's workout. So, we're going to start with our warm-up. Very simple. We got 2 rounds of glute bridges and hollow rocks. So, Blaine's going to go ahead and demonstrate our glute bridges. First, we're going to do these glute bridges because we have air squats in the workout itself. So, how we're going to do our glute bridges, we're going to lay flat on our back. Blaine's going to go ahead and bring his heels close to his glutes or his buttocks, his butt, and then he's going to go ahead and raise his hips. So as he's raising his hips, he's thinking digging his heels into the floor and squeezing his glutes as tight as he can to activate those hamstrings and glutes, because this is going to come up when we do our air squats in the workout. So we got air squats today. We need to activate our glutes and hamstrings for that exercise. It's going to help us prevent injuries. Now, you're going to do 20 glute bridges. Once you're done with your first 20 glute bridges, we're going to go to hollow rocks, 10 hollow rocks. So for our hollow rocks today, we have sit-ups. So we want our core, our midsection, everything in the middle to have nice blood flow, make sure everything's working right. And this is what's going to help us do that. So Blaine's going to go ahead and put his hands above his head. His body or his head will be lifted off the floor through his arms, and his toes are pointed forward and up off the floor. So if you look, his toes or his feet are maybe about a foot off the floor, and so are his hands. And he's going to squeeze his stomach, and he's just going to rock back and forth like he's a boat. Don't rock the boat, but this time you do want to rock the boat. Staying nice and tight, squeezing for 10, and done. So, for our warm-up, you have 2 rounds, 20 glute bridges, 10 hollow rocks to get us ready for the workout. By that point, we want to be sweating. That's the reason they call it a warm-up, because you want to get your body physically warm. So whenever you start to break a sweat, that's a good indication to let you know, guess what? You're warmed up. So we're going to go right into the workout. Now today's workout, we're going to do 5 rounds of these exercises 4 times. So what that means, 4 times, is whenever you actually start the workout, when we get to these exercises, you're going to start a timer either on your phone, a stopwatch, anything you want to use to take time. You're going to let that clock run until you're completed with the 5 rounds of these exercises. Then whenever time you get at the end, bam, that is your score. And so how we're going to do this is, once you've gone and completed your workout and you've given video proof and you send it to my email address, which is in the link in the description below, and you post your times in the comment, then we're going to go ahead and give somebody a free PT session when we open back up at the Anytime Fitness, either Broadway or Devon location. So this is a chance to get a free personal training session when we open back up. But don't forget, you have to videotape your workout. You have to post your time to the bottom of the comments. And that's it. So without further ado, your workout. We have 5 rounds, 4 times. We're going to start with 20 air squats. So remember, while we're doing our air squats, your feet have to be just outside your hips. Again, you don't have to be exactly like Blaine is. Everybody's a little bit different depending on their genetics. And your butt, at least your hip crease, has to go below the tops of the thighs. So these would be good reps. That's a good rep. That's not a good rep. Not going low enough. So get a little bit lower, Blaine. Right there, that's a good rep. That's what we want to see. So those would count as good repetitions. So we have, starting with those 20 air squats. Now, with our sit-ups, there's 2 different ways you can do your sit-ups. So let's go ahead. Blaine, you're going to lay flat on your back. Excellent barrel roll. Now, you can go ahead and bring your knees up just like this. And if you want, you can do a sit-up and bring both your hands in front of your feet. So you can do them a couple this way, but the only thing is your shoulders, come all the way up, your shoulders have to go past this hip crease. So if I'm here, see how my this shoulder, Blaine's shoulders are in line with his hip crease. So that's a good repetition. If he stops here, that's a no rep. He has not come up all the way. So what's a good indication is if his front of his fingertips Go ahead, touch the ground in front of you. See how they're right at his toes? That's a good indication that you're in the right spot, and his shoulders are over his hips. A couple more here, Blaine. So he's coming all the way back down. His shoulder blades are touching the floor, and he's reaching out in front of them. Shoulders are coming in front of the hips, and his fingers are reaching in front of the toes. Now you can do an alternative version of this sit-up. So we're going to go ahead back on your back there, Blaine. You're going to go ahead and bring your feet together. Think like a butterfly stretch. There we go, just like that. Now he can go ahead and do his sit-up, come all the way up, and reach out in front. Your toes, or your fingers just have to touch in front of your toes. That sounds as a good rep. So come up, give me one more time, and he's touching the floor right in front right there. That's another good rep. Excellent. So we're going to be doing 15 sit-ups with good repetitions. So we've already done our 20 air squats. We've done our 15 sit-ups. Now we're going to go ahead and do 10 push-ups. So this is what I'm looking for good repetitions in the push-ups. 1, when you come all the way up, your arms have to be completely locked out. As we come down, your chest has to completely touch the floor and push right back up. Now, if you want to, you can do something called hand release push-ups. This still counts. If you just come all the way down, release your hands, and then come all the way back up. This just gives you the option that if you don't have the ability to hold your body weight in your upper body, as your chest is touching the floor, you can release and then push yourself back up. Now, we will accept these versions. Just like this, this will be called scale. This is going to be our scaled version. So, instead of doing the RX or what's prescribed, those 10 push-ups, you can do these scaled push-ups, but you have to do 15 of them on your knees. Okay, then we're going to go into our last movement, burpees. 5 burpees. So we're going to start from the top, and we're going to go all the way back down, reaching for the floor, push your feet back, and making sure we're going all the way down till our chest touches again, and then we come all the way back up. Good. Make sure every time you come out, just bringing your hands above your head. We only do this way, putting your hands above your head, so we at least have a baseline so everyone knows when to stop the movement. So you start from the top, it ends in the bottom when your chest is touching the ground, and then it counts. That's one right there when he brings his hands back together. So, again, it's 5 rounds, 4 times. 20 air squats, 15 sit-ups, 10 push-ups, and 5 of our burpees. And don't forget, if you need to scale the push-ups, that is fine. But you have to do 15 of them on your knees instead of 10 regular push-ups. Excellent. Don't forget, after you've done this, record your time. Send me a video on my email that's, again, in the description of this video. And we'll look over it, make sure all the movements are correct and ready to go. And then you will go ahead and get your free PT session for the fastest time. We'll do fastest male, fastest female. Cool. Then we're going to go ahead and do our cool down. First one, doorway cross stretch. So we're going to go ahead. We're back. We're in the back cave. We're in my office. We're going to show you doorway cross stretch, which is our next stretch we got going. So Blaine is going to go ahead and put both of his hands on both sides of the door. This is why we call it doorway cross stretch, because guess what? He is in the doorway. He kind of looks like he's on a cross, and he's stretching. So we're going to go ahead, push forward when you do this. Think of like you want this doorway to pull your elbows back and pushing your body forward so we can stretch out these pecs. Now this is what we're doing to stretch out our pecs is because we have all those push-ups. We've done a lot of push-ups since this at-home workouts have begun. And what we want to prevent is we want to prevent from our muscles getting so tight and squeezing and holding in our upper body like this where we have bad posture. Again, we're doing all this computer work at home, so we want to go ahead and open that up, and this is a stretch to do it. So maybe after 1 minute you've been here, you might feel like a little bit of tingling sensation in your arms. The arms might feel like you've kind of fallen asleep, but that's okay, because guess what? It's just because your hands are upright like that and blood is flowing down to your body. And so what you can do is just go ahead, if you feel like you need to, bring your hands off of the wall, shake them out a little bit, and then go ahead right back up. That's doorway cross stretch. Okay, that is the doorway cross stretch. So remember, opening up the chest, that's our goal. Now we're going to get into single leg hamstring stretch. The reason we're doing these single leg hamstring stretches, again, we're all working at home, we're working remotely. When we sit, my legs are in this 90-degree position, and since I'm not getting up, I'm not walking around as much as I would do, even if you were a commuter to work, we need to get this leg in the opposite direction, open it up so it stretches out our hamstrings. A lot of times, we can isolate or we can take back lower back pain with tight hamstrings. So Blaine's going to go ahead, he's on his left knee, he's going to get his right leg out, and what he's going to do is he's going to reach with both hands on each side of his leg. Now right here, you should feel a stretch in the back of the leg. If this is too intense, you can go ahead and put a chair right next to you and just kind of lean on that chair. You don't have to go as far as Blaine is going. Now, to increase the stretch, you can go ahead and bring your opposite leg. So in this case, for Blaine, his right leg is straight, his left knee is back. We're going to bring his left hand over to his foot to feel that stretch. This is if you want to increase in your stretch. If you were to put both your hands on the floor and you didn't feel much of a stretch, you're going to go ahead back and stretch like that. Awesome. Now, one other thing about the single leg hamstring stretch is that some of us are going to feel a little bit of pain or discomfort right behind the patella in the back of the knee. Now, this is just because your calves, when you flex this way, when you gas pedal up, it's going to activate some more calf muscles and tendons that are going to be pulling across that patella behind it. So what we want to do is we want to just push forward like this, helps release those, and we can actually isolate our hamstrings even more. So once we've done 1 minute each side for our single leg hamstring stretch, we're going to go ahead and finish up with 2 minutes of sumo squat. Remember, this is probably one of the hardest stretches that we have to do. So Blaine is going to go ahead, get set up, and there's 2 different ways you can get into this sumo squat. You can actually start from the floor, like Blaine's about to do right now, and just get right up in that sumo squat. So when he's here, his feet are outside of his hips. And you can see, if you can, for some of us, we can go ahead and push our elbows against the insides of our legs, our adductors. We can go ahead and push out. And this is going to go ahead and stretch these adductors right here in the middle. And this is what's going to help open up our hips a little bit more. Now, the second way you can go ahead and get into this stretch is if you actually were to stand all the way up and just come right back into it like you would a regular air squat, just like that. Now, the thing about this stretch, the trick is just to breathe. It's going to be painful for some of you. You're going to feel a stretch on the insides of your legs. You're going to feel it in the backs of the ankles and your Achilles. And some of us are going to feel it in the knee. These are all good places to feel it. This is where we want to feel it at. But just breathe deep. If you can hear Blaine right now, he's breathing through his nose and he's exhaling through his mouth. This is how you let your nervous system relax and help open up your range of motion, your body, and your joints. And that's it, guys. Don't forget to post your times. Send me an email of you doing the workout, and post your times to the description below in the comment section. Again, Blaine and I really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Congratulations. Week 3, day 2, completely done. Have a good rest of the week.